Spoiler alert, we're pumping the brakes today, a little bit of a curveball. And since we're really in the holiday season now, I wanted to kind of pump the brakes because we've had 7 weeks of this One Another series so far. Technically 6 if you take out the intro week. And so again, I want to remind us that the goal for these things is not simply information. That my heart is that we would begin to, as we grow more and more into the image of Jesus, we become like Jesus as followers of Jesus, that we begin living these things out as we are commanded, not optional. We're commanded to live these things out as the body of Christ, as the church. And so 6 weeks of these One Another so far, and I just want to encourage us to do some assessment on where we are. I'm attaching a document to this video, sending it out to the threads with each week's theme, the primary and secondary or complementary passages for that theme, along with some assessment questions and some practices that we have shared along the way. And so what I want to encourage you to do today is worship around the meal together and spend some time praying, confessing if need be, sharing stories, celebrating. How has the past week been? What does your journey to become like Jesus look like? What are some of the struggles that you've been dealing with? Lean on each other, spend some time worshiping, and then walk through each of these previous weeks and have some just honest conversation about what the practices have looked like. Extend grace to each other because we all have issues and we're going to fall short on really living them out super well, especially if we're not used to it. But at the same time, why have you not thought about them beyond Sunday? Why have you not actually followed through with some of these practices as simple as a text to someone or a prayer for someone or whatever? And so just have some honest conversation about the whys and the why nots. If you have experienced them, then share those stories and how that's been encouraging to you. But again, since they're not optional, that's not a me thing. That's a you and the Lord thing. It's a me and the Lord thing. Since these things are not optional, how can we begin triaging margin in our incredibly busy lives to prioritize practicing these one another's? And then again, just have some honest conversations. It's not intended to be pointing fingers at everybody, but it is intended to find some momentum and some traction in, we don't just say life together, we need to live and experience life together. And so enjoy it, but work on really the heart of it. That if it's no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me, if I've been bought with a price and now I need to live out my life for the glory of God, then how can I begin to really love one another in the room well? One another as a follower of Jesus, not just who's in the room or who's in your family, who's in your MC, who's in your North Star family. Every follower of Jesus, how can you begin to do that well? And so we'll do that today, and then we'll finish up the series in December. We'll wrap up the year doing that. But again, my heart and prayer has been that we're going to look back on this, and it's going to be a transformative pivot in our lives individually and communally. But while we're pumping the brakes, heading into the holiday season, I just want to give some quick housekeeping kind of notes for you. First of all, thank you for raising the bar for the meal at our family worship in November. Man, that was awesome. Hopefully you're raising the bar and having conversations about that with your microchurch communities on those worship Sundays as well. Sunday, December 7th, we're going to be partnering with a good friend of mine. His community is going to come in and join us. We're going to eat together. I want to encourage you now to be intentional about integrating with people that you don't know. Come around, sit by people, get to know them. It's going to be an awesome day of eating together, worshiping around the table, singing, praying, sharing incredible transformative stories with one another. And then we're going to have some baptisms. And so if you're interested in baptism, reach out to me, let me know, and I will follow up with you. But that's coming up Sunday, December 7th. And since it's a family worship day, I want to remind us too, we're still partnering with the City of Refuge with grape jelly. So anytime you go to the store, get you a jar of grape jelly and bring it on that Sunday. Another MC has decided to gather and collect cold weather gear, gloves, beanies, hoodies, jackets for homeless that are local. And so if you've got that laying around the house, or you can help donate, then bring that on the 7th as well. And so this time of year is incredible opportunities for mission, and there's no shortage of opportunities to serve and help our community. And so we are a small community as a local church. And so, yes, we want to share those opportunities. So let me know so we can share whatever you're doing with each other. But also, as we've said all along, serving and partying are two fantastic on-ramps for people to come alongside of you, whether or not they have any kind of faith or love for Jesus. And so be intentional about inviting family, neighbors, coworkers into collecting clothing for the homeless, or food for City of Refuge, or whatever you're doing, the Bags of Joy for the foster care. Like, invite others along, and pray that those are on-ramps, that you can be able to share Jesus with those people as you are helping these different communities around us. And so family worship is an awesome time for that. But I also want to say there's a great possibility that we're going to be in a new venue in January for family worship. And so the Lions Club has been great. They've been great to work with us, but it's a loud venue with our kids. And so there's a very likely possibility of a new place in January. And hopefully within a couple of weeks, I'll be able to share that with you guys. But be praying for it, because it's going to be an awesome space to eat together and continue worship. It's going to have some side space for us to utilize as well. It's just a great opportunity if that comes into fruition. So with that being said, two more things right around the corner. You got Thanksgiving Thursday. I know that's a family time, but be prayerful and at least open to inviting someone over to join your family for Thanksgiving meal, or be aware of homebound or single folks that you can take a meal to this coming Thursday. It's a great opportunity to just be thankful for what God has given you, and you can extend that to other people. The next thing is this November the 30th is our 5th Sunday. We've done a lot of different things to experiment with how to utilize our 5th Sundays. But here's the primary thing is we don't want to be legalistic about you got to get together every week. But we also don't want to give it as like a get out of jail free card, like, hey, do what you want. Really, you have the freedom to do that whenever you want anyway. But the heart of these 5th Sundays is a chance for, if you guys have missed a week of the one another's, to get together, have a typical worship Sunday and catch up on that week, or be intentional about cultivating community with one another, getting together. It doesn't have to be on a Sunday or a Sunday morning. Could be any time over the week or the weekend to get together, eat together, party together, serve together. A lot of us haven't seen a new face within our worship communities for a little bit. Be prayerful about how you can do something to invite others into a serve party opportunity. But don't miss out on the opportunity to commit to one another. Like, if your MC is not meeting, feel invited and welcome to go hang out with another one next or on the 30th or whenever. Like, collaborate with another MC. Like, work together, get creative, have fun with it. That's the intent of it. Just opportunities. Don't overthink. Like, just opportunities to get together, centered on Jesus. Just worship, party, enjoy one another because of who we are in Jesus. If we're not committed, like, if we're only seeing each other once a week, and then you're not, because of crazy seasons or whatever, now it's only once a month or twice a month, and discipleship happens at the speed of relationship, then the reality is we're missing out on some of the most beautiful aspects of who the church is. And so we don't want to be legalistic about it, but to enjoy life in its fullest, a piece of that, at least, is to cultivate deep life together with a community who loves you unconditionally for who you are. They love you well enough to be practicing these one another's with each other, and you can just show up even on the bad days. And you can just say it's a bad day, and you're going to be loved and comforted. You can show up on the good days. You can just celebrate Jesus and share stories. You can show up and confess. You can show up and cry. You can show up and laugh until your belly hurts. All of that. But if we're not careful, life can go so fast that we miss out on some of the most life-giving moments with each other centered around Jesus. So with that being said, enjoy the next several weeks. I hope you guys have a fantastic Thanksgiving. Love you guys.